Hey guys, sorry, there we go. Welcome. I'm so excited that you're here with me to learn about this amazing new product. My name is Allie Dosdell and I work for We Are Memory Keepers. I've been working for them for probably about 10 years in different capacities. And right now I work as their spokesperson, I guess the face of the brand. So I represent them on TV. I represent them at trade shows. I teach workshops. And then I also manage their social media. I have absolutely loved working with We Are Memory Keepers. Their level of dedication and their striving for innovation in their products has just got me hooked, and that's why I've been there for so long. So I hope you become a fan as well as you enjoy these classes, and you can see some of the wonderful We Are Memory Keepers products that we have available at Michael's for you. I live in Utah. I'm coming at you from Utah in my home. This is my craft room. And I have been here for over 10 years. We live just at the foot of the Rocky Mountains in the Wasatch Front. It's an absolutely beautiful area. My husband and I live here with our two daughters, our 18-year-old and our 11-year-old. And then we have three adult age children that are off on their own in the world. So anyway, and then we have a cute little Yorkie. That's our dog Daisy. She's our fur baby. So anyway, that's a little bit about me. So happy you guys are here, and I'm guessing you're probably from all over the place. It's so fun that we can connect this way through technology, through virtual means, and it's just been so fun for me to teach these classes, and I'm really grateful to Michaels for the opportunity to do this with them. So let's talk about the Shotbox. So this product, when we released this product, crafters went wild. And I will tell you why, because if you like to craft and you have a small business and you're creating your, beautiful creations to sell, this is going to help you increase your sales. If you're a content creator, let's say you blog or you are a social influencer on social media, and you like to work with brands, to create content, this is going to grow your business because your images are going to, your photos and videos are going to have a professional quality about them. I have been doing social media, blogging, all of that good stuff for the past 10 years. And I can attest that an image makes a 100% difference. You can sell almost anything with a beautiful image, with an eye-catching image. So your imagery, your photos and your video, your assets need to be top quality to really have a successful business. So this is the way to go. It's easy to use. And it absolutely produces beautiful results. The other thing that this is great for is if you like to archive, let's say you're into family history, or you want to preserve photos. I have a box full of old black and white photos from my great grandparents and other ancestors. And this is a great way to archive those because you really need to get a digital version of those older documents. Concert tickets and programs, awards, school papers, artwork, photos, letters, handwritten letters, all of those precious things that we want to keep and preserve for years to come really need to be digitized. And this is a perfect way to do that because your images will be sharp and crisp and clear and the lighting will be beautiful and balanced. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to tell you all about the different products in the Shotbox line, and then we're going to go through 4 different types of shots, and I'll show you how they work and give you tips and tricks. Also, feel free to ask questions, and I'm going to go through 4 separate sections, 4 separate shots. So at the end of each shot, the presentation of each shot, I'll ask you if you have questions, and Michaels will let me know if you do, and we can answer those. Also at the very end, we'll probably have another question and answer little session. So anyway, all right, so Shotbox. Obviously the pièce de résistance is the kit, the Shotbox kit, the portable photo studio. With that, you're going to get 2 infinity backdrops, and those are backdrops that cover the back and the bottom. They're black and white. You're going to get a storage bag, and it comes with the built-in lighting. and it comes with a power cord. And so you get everything you need to get started in this kit. If you want to add, we have to your collection here, and up your game a little bit, we have a bunch of accessories that you can get. We have other colors of infinity backdrops, a gray and a green, and the green is perfect for green screen. So if you like to add in digital backgrounds, you can use that green screen for that. This is the Sideshot. And it's just an attachment that you can use if you want to do some hands-free work, videos or photos. So it gives you a place to rest your camera and get your hands free. Then we also have these beautiful backgrounds that you can use. We have solid colors, a whole array of different colors. I think there's a dozen. Yep, a dozen in each package. And then this one is photo real backdrop. So these are really beautiful with different wood grains, with different surfaces. There's even marble and tile. I mean, lots of fun things to add to your imagery, your photos and videos. All right, so let me move these boxes out of the way, and then I'm going to show you my favorite accessory, which is this storage bag. And I'm going to show you why I love it, because it's amazing. So it's got a spot for everything, for all of the accessories and for the regular kit. And that's what I love about it, is they thought of everything. So let's move this out of the way. And ta-da, here's the bag. So here you have your power cords. This one's for the Sideshot. This one's for the Shotbox. Here you have your 4 infinity backdrops. Okay, I'm going to pull those out. And I'm going to pull out my power cord, because we're going to use, oops, wrong one. I already pulled out that one. This one for the Sideshot. Here's where the Sideshot goes. That's your extension arm. And then back here is where all of your backdrops go. So I've got all of my backdrops here. And also I put my storage bag. So this is the storage bag that actually comes with the original kit. And it's the same kind of setup as the fancy one. It's got power cords, Sideshot, backdrops, box, everything, and a pocket on the back. So that's available with the kit. So let's put that aside. And then let me just mention a couple of neat features about this particular bag. It is made of neoprene, so it will protect your Shopbox and all of your goodies from the elements, which is fantastic, because this is really meant to be a portable photo studio that you can take with you wherever you need to do your work. And so that's great. So let's pull out the Shopbox. That goes in the main pocket. And let's pull this right out. It's got a handle. Pop that under there. And this is my favorite part, you guys. Are you ready? Watch this. We're going to open this up and set it up. This is how easy it is. Don't blink, because here it goes. Boom. Watch that. And then all you have to do is put these little side bars in. And you're done. You're good to go. So easy. Now, if any of you have been working on your photography, and maybe you've got like a little lighting kit or whatever, that just takes forever, but boom, this is done. It's so easy. So let me plug it in. I've got the cord back here. And
Hey,
if you take a look, yeah.
Your front camera just went off.
Okay, sorry about that. 1 second.
There we go.
Okay, sorry about that. That's my daughter's phone, so. And I thought I put do not disturb on there, so I'm not sure why that happened. My apologies. Thank you for letting me know. All right, so on the back, there's 3 different ports back here. There's the main power port, that's for your power cord. There's a power port for your Sideshot. Oh, thank you for the overhead shot there. And then there's also a USB port back here. So if you need to charge your phone camera, or whatever you're using, your device, you can charge that while you're going, so you don't run out of juice. It's just really great, super handy. All right, so let me show you. Let's go back to the front on shot, and I'm going to turn this on. And what I love is that this has got an adjustable on-off switch. So watch as this just brightens up. So you can totally use this full power, or you can go lower, if you want a little more moody lighting. There's just so many options that you can do. And then there's a switch over here, so you can toggle the LED light strips. So you can move back and forth if you want to get some angled lighting rather than just solid lighting. You can do that. So that's super handy. All right, so We're going to start with an overhead shot, and I'm going to put in, let's see, I'm going to do some artwork. So one of my favorite ways to use this is to archive my daughter's artwork, because, you know, if any of you have kids or grandkids, you know, they come home from school with so many beautiful projects, and it's a challenge sometimes to find room to store all of that, right? So what I like to do is I like to photograph it, and then I preserve it that way. Sometimes I'll make a scrapbook page with her artwork, so she has a special page to look at and see all her artwork. Sometimes I make a mini book with all her artwork. So what I'm doing is I'm putting one of the solid color backgrounds down in the bottom. That's the green one. I'm going to grab a piece of artwork. This is something my daughter painted a few years ago, and I'm just going to center that right in there. Now, hopefully, let's go back to the top shot again. So it might be a little difficult to see, but let me get my phone. I'm going to take a picture with my phone from the top, and there are all these holes up here, so you have a chance to take photos from different directions. And let me just open this up, get to my camera app. Okay, so I'm just going to lay this on top, and we're going to go this way. And I need to just shove it over. Okay, so hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing here. And I'm just lining it up. And let me tell you, one of the challenges, let's go back to the front for just a second. And I want to talk about a couple of challenges. This is called a flat lay setup. So when you're taking pictures of a product, or you're archiving, a flat lay is when you lay something flat on a table and you take a picture right above it. And the idea is you're trying to get it perfectly level, not angled at all, and perfectly even and centered. The challenge with a flat lay is the lighting, because if you don't have lighting that's above where your camera is, you're going to get shadows. You're going to get phone shadows or arm shadows or hand shadows or camera shadows, and that presents a real challenge. With this setup, your camera is above the lighting, so you have no problem with shadows, no problem with funny looking things, and your camera is perfectly level, which is a challenge too, because you can get kind of warping and funny shapes, especially on documents, like this, and photos and things. So let's go ahead and do the overhead shot again, and I'm going to take a photo. Now, all I have to do is just press the button. And here's another recommendation, is that when you're doing an overhead shot, or any shot actually with your phone, if you're using your phone camera, don't zoom in, don't pinch and stretch and zoom in, because you're going to lose quality. You're going to lose resolution on that photo. So do your cropping after you take the photo, get it as close as you can, and then crop when you're done taking the photo. So the photo I took just now, I will crop, and it will eventually, be just the right size. So here's a funny story. My daughter, I originally used a different painting that she'd done of a turtle, and she wanted me to actually, she changed her mind this morning and wanted me to use her walrus painting, because she loves her walrus painting. So the photo that I have to show you is actually the turtle painting. If you could please show 1A, photo 1A with the turtle painting. So you can see, you'll get the idea of exactly what that would look like if you were to take a photo of the artwork, but just bear in mind that it's a different piece of art. So hopefully, if Michaels can share their screen and just show the image that's image 1A, photo 1A, so you can see what that photo would look like if you were to take a picture of your child's artwork. Okay, thank you. And while she's working on that, I'm also going to talk about the backgrounds a little bit. What's nice is they've included so many different solid colors, so you can get you can kind of complement the colors in your artwork, or in the image, or whatever it is. All right, so here it comes. Okay, so there's the turtle image. That's the idea. Look at that nice even lighting, no shadows, nice and soft, nothing harsh, no glares. It's just a really nice image, and it's nice and even and not warped. All right, so let's go back to the front on shot, and we're going to switch this out and put a different background in there. And this time I'm going to show you how to archive. If you are a scrapbooker, which some of you might be, the size of this box is 14¼ inches wide, 15 tall, and 15 deep. So you have plenty of room for a full 12 by 12 scrapbook page if that's the size that you like to use, or maybe you have a photo album, you know, that's large like that. So I'm putting in the orange background on the bottom, and then I'm putting in this cute Halloween layout of my daughter last year. This is her costume last Halloween, and I'm gonna put this in here and just again center it right on the background, and then I'm gonna scoot my camera just a bit so I can get just the right shot there. Now I'm going to move it forward just a bit to get it right in the right place. 1 second. Okay, perfect. Make sure that's straight. Okay, so ready? I'm going to take a photo. All right, and then I would crop that down in my photo editing software, or you know, in my Photos app. And if we can get image 1B up on the screen, then you can see again the beautiful balanced and solid lighting, no glare. Now this is a glossy photo, so normally you would get some kind of a glare on there, but with this Shotbox, you don't get any kind of glare. Everything's clear. You also, with a photograph, what's nice is you also get dimension. Now, some people like to document their images or archive their images, their photos, their documents using a scanner, which is another good way to do it, but you lose a little bit of the dimension with that. So with this particular way, you can also archive that dimension. So it really gives you a nice shot. All right, so let's go back to the front on shot. And now, actually, before we do that, let's go back to the front on shot. And let's talk a little bit about any questions that you might have about this type of shot, this type of photography coming down like on a flat lay. Does anyone have any questions about that, or any other questions? We can take a second to answer some questions.
Donna wants to know, what are the backdrops made of?
So the backdrops are made of a thick cardstock that I would say is probably 80 pounds, but they have a waterproof sheen on them. So they're nice and sturdy. They're going to last a long time. You can kind of see the sheen on there. So so they're meant to last. You know, they're treated so that they're waterproof. So good question. Any other questions?
And we have Carol asking, can you do more 3D items because she likes to shoot jewelry?
Yes, in fact, we are going to shoot some jewelry. So that's a good question. We will do 3 more different shots. We're going to do food crafting, we're going to do jewelry, and we're going to do a mini album as well, like a process video that you see that on Instagram and stuff are so popular right now. So good question. Let's take one more question and then we'll move on.
And Claudia wants to know, do you recommend using professional cameras with it, or cell phones, or just, use that?
Right. Good question. You can do either one. So my next set of shots here, I'm going to use my DSLR camera, my professional camera. So you can use either one, which is great, right? So the quality is going to be just the same either way. All right, so let's move on. I am now going to photograph a beautiful cake. Let's see, let me pick up my backgrounds first. We're going to do some photo real backgrounds for this one. We're going to do the wood grain down in the bottom, and then I think we're going to do the marble in the back. Marble is great for food shots. If you photograph food, if you're doing like a recipe book, or you're selling, maybe you decorate cookies and you're selling cookies. Okay, so I'm going to take this cake very carefully and place this in here, right about there. Just make sure that's centered, and it's, maybe 5 or 6 inches from the back of the box. All right. So let me grab my DSLR camera. And what I wanted to talk about with this particular shot is talk about different angles. So the angles that you take your photos from can make a big difference in how you present your product. Okay, so for example, let's see, I'm going to turn my camera on. Let me take my glasses off for a sec. And pardon my back, but I need to get the shot just right. So I'm going to take an angle that's kind of a higher angle shot. All right, so if you can put up the 2A photo so that they can see what that looks like. We're going to talk just a little bit about coming from a high angle when you're taking a shot of your product. And there are some benefits to that. So some of the benefits are if you have a product that really needs to be showcased from a higher angle. For example, look at this image. So nice and crisp, beautifully lit, soft shadows, which is what we want. If there are any shadows in these images, they should be soft. Sometimes shadows are just part of a natural photo, but they're very soft. They're not harsh. So at this particular angle, what's really emphasized on this cake is the beautiful top, right? The strawberry, the whipped cream, the nice parfait, topping of the cake. So if you want to emphasize that part of your product, take a higher angle shot. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the front on camera and we're going to do kind of a medium angle shot and just kind of show you what that looks like. So you can get an idea of how different angles make a difference in your shots. So pardon my back again. I'm gonna come at it from, let's see, right about here and take another shot. All right, if we can put up 2B, please. That's going to show kind of a medium angle shot. So you can see, you see a little bit more of the sides of the cake, right? But you also still get a good look at the top. So that's kind of in my mind, for this cake, that's a nice view because for this particular product, it gives you a good look at pretty much the whole thing. So there's kind of a medium angle. Now, let's go back to the front on shot on the camera, and I'm going to do a lower angle shot, and you'll see kind of the difference that makes. So I'm just going to get right down here. Okay, and take that shot, and let's throw up to C, and you can see and it's not perfectly straight on, but it's pretty close. So you can see now the emphasis is really on the layers of the cake, right? So you're kind of getting a really good solid view of that. So when you look at this picture, you're thinking, oh, what a cool layered cake, right? So it just depends on what you want to emphasize when you're working with different angles. And the nice thing about the Shotbox is you can take several different angles. You can come at it from the side. I mean, there's a whole lot of options there. So let me grab my notes and make sure I covered everything I wanted to with these particular shots. Okay, I think I did. So if you have any questions, maybe I'll take 2 or 3 questions for a second, then we'll move on to another type of shot.
There's a lot of questions this time.
Okay,
I just want to
great.
know, Steph wants to know, can you use a turntable on the floor? So I guess
Can
at the
use a
bottom of the box, could you use a turntable?
Yes, you could. Yeah, I mean, if it's the right size and it fits in there, you can definitely do that. Yeah, that's a good question.
And then as far as the background, how many comes with the actual box itself? I know you said there's a dozen that comes in the package.
Right. So each package that you buy separately has a dozen in them. So there's 24 possibilities. But with the actual kit, you get 2 different backgrounds. You get a black and a white, and they are what's called the infinity backdrops. And I'll show you those in just a minute, meaning that they cover the back and the bottom continuously. So
Okay. And I did want to let everyone know that I did put the link to the Shopbox from Michael's in the chat box. So if you don't have your chat box
great.
open, please open up your chat box to see the link for it.
Okay, thank you. Great.
You are so welcome. And then Amy is asking, what are the actual measurements of the Shopbox?
Okay, good question. So it's 14¼ inches wide, 15 inches tall, and 15 inches deep. So that's a good question.
Okay.
Let's take maybe just a couple more since there are
Okay.
quite a few. And then we'll do
Yes,
more at
there
the end, I
are.
promise. We'll do a
And
lot
then,
more at the end.
okay. And then I was wondering if you using the DSLR from the top.
You can, it depends on your camera and how big your lens is. So I would say these holes at the top are probably 2 by 2, maybe 2.5 by 2.5 inches. So if your lens can fit in there, then you're good to go. It's just going to depend on your camera and your lens. So good
Okay.
question. All right, one more and then we'll move on.
And there, D. Adams is asking if there's larger shop boxes.
There aren't at this point. We just have this one, but I will definitely pass that on to our team at We Are Memory Keepers and we'll see what we can come up with.
Okay.
Okay, all right, let's move on to another type of shot. I'm gonna pull this out and pull out my backgrounds. This time we're gonna use one of the infinity backgrounds or backdrops, I guess they call them. We're gonna use the gray one. And so these come rolled up and they've got these posts or sticks at the top and the bottom. And just a quick tip, if they do come a little bit wrinkled, you can totally iron them. We recommend dampening it just a bit with a spray bottle, just water, probably distilled water if you're using an iron. And then you can actually iron with a medium heat on the back, or if you want to iron the front, just put a sheet over it and iron with medium heat over the front. So just so you know, you can get those nice and crisp and clean if you want to. They generally don't come wrinkled, but we have had a couple people mention that they did. So there's your answer. So what you're going to do is there are some hooks back here in the back, and you're just going to hook the stick onto those hooks and then just kind of let that lay in. I usually try to get the bottom stick just over the edge here. And that gives you a nice continuous background color. That's why we call it an infinity backdrop, because it's continuous. There's no break in the backdrop. So with this particular shot, what I'm going to do is do some jewelry. And first we're going to use the side shot for this particular shot. So I wanted to show you how to use that. So let me just kind of take you on a little tour. You can adjust this. So that allows you to adjust the angle that you're shooting at. And then there are also these side arms that come out. So if you're using like maybe an iPad or some kind of a tablet, you have enough room to lay that here to photograph with, which is kind of nice. So now if we can go to the overhead shot for just a second, I'm going to show you how to attach this to the top. So here's, you've got this little ledge that comes out here, and you're just going to place that down into the middle box. And that's just going to balance that side shot so that it stays in place. Let me grab the power cord so I can show you how to plug that in. Let's see, can you see overhead? There's a USB plug and a port right here on the side shot. Oop, you can't see that. Let me back this up so you can see that. Okay, yes, hopefully now. And then the other end of this cord goes to the back of the machine to the port back there. All right, now you notice more lighting. Okay, let's go back to the front on shot. There's more lighting, so that this side shot has additional lighting, which you can see on the head, hopefully right there. And that's one thing I do like about using the side shot is now you're getting some lighting in the front, which is great too. So I highly recommend grabbing this particular accessory if you want to get some good lighting in the front. Okay, so let me put my jewelry in. All right, so this is actually some jewelry that we made in a previous class, the mold press from We Are Memory Keepers. We actually made this is cement jewelry, and a pendant, and we made it from some little wood tangram pieces. So it was really fun. So we're gonna photograph this. So I'm gonna place this in, again, maybe 5 or 6 inches from the back, and just to make sure that's nice and centered. And then I'm gonna grab my cell phone for this one and do a photo. And now, so when you do photos, you're gonna have to turn your phone upside down and place that in. And then you can adjust the angle, right? So you can get that nice and centered there in the shot. And then we can just tighten this right here to keep that from moving. And again, I don't know if you can see, you probably can't see, but on my phone, I'm getting a little bit of the sides of the box, which is okay because after I take that shot, I can go in and crop. That's the best way to do that, is to crop after you take the photo. So get it as close as you can and then crop afterwards, and you'll have a better shot that way. All right, so I'm ready to take the photo for that one. And if you can pop up photo 3A, then you can see what that looks like with 3D, with some jewelry, with some, rather than flat documents, you'll be able to see how the lighting works and how beautiful these images will turn out, nice and crisp. And again, if you're creating something and you're trying to sell it, your imagery needs to be really crisp and clear and good. So take a look at that nice, even lighting, um, soft shadows, like that infinity backdrop just looks really professional. So you get beautiful imagery with 3D items. Now, one tip I wanted to share is my favorite app for editing photos after the fact, the post editing, is Lightroom. So I know there's a lot of them out there that you can use. Even with the newer versions of smartphones, the latest versions, there's a lot of really good editing tools just in the photo app. But I love to use Lightroom, and that way you can kind of, you can actually improve if there are any shadows or glares, you can kind of work on those. You can, change the color. You can there's just a lot of things you can do with Lightroom. So that's my very favorite. I just wanted to throw that in there because some people ask about that. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to take a quick video. That's another thing I love about the Sideshot, is that you can take hands-free videos. So a lot of people like to do, like right now on Instagram, the Reels are super popular. And honestly, whatever the new latest thing on the social media is, the newest feature that they put up there, if you use that new feature, then you'll get more views. That's been my experience. So whatever the latest features that they add to the social media, jump on it, use that, and that will increase your views. They'll push you up in the algorithm. So Reels in Instagram, quick 15-second videos that just kind of show something fun. They're just meant to be kind of exciting and just a snippet. So if you want to do a reel, this is a great way. So I'll show you how to do that. So let's say I want to do, maybe I'm sharing as a content creator, I'm sharing how to stage or use props in a photo shoot, right? So I'm just going to do a quick reel video, 15-second video or less, to show how to style that. So I'm using a couple of metallic pumpkins for fall, since this necklace is kind of a fall sort of theme, and these complement the metallic paint on the necklace. So I'm gonna turn on my video feature, and I want to see if I need to adjust, because on the video sometimes, no, I think I'm good. Okay, great. All right, so let's start. I'm going to take a little video, and this is going to be my 15-second reel, Instagram reel, for how to stage a photo. So here we go. Okay. All right, so if we can throw up image 3B, or it's a video, and just play that, then you'll be able to see just how easy it is to get a hands-free video, which is really nice. So no need for a tripod or fancy equipment. With the Shotbox, you can just use the Sideshot and get your hands-free imagery done. The fun thing with the Instagram Reels is you can add music to it. So that's kind of a fun way to market, to market your product or your skills, or your whatever you're selling out there. All right, so let's go back to the front on shot. Let me grab my notes and just make sure that I covered everything for that shot. Okay. Yes, I did. All right, so let's take a few questions if you have any questions, and I'm sure you do. So,
Well, I have a couple of questions. The first question was if you there. I think there was someone that may have came into the class just a little late, but if you could go over the lighting again, how to switch the
um,
lights
how
or
to
add
switch the
lights.
lights? Yes, yes. All right, so there's a switch here, a dimmer switch, and this is also your on-off switch, so you can, decrease and increase the lighting depending on how you want to take your shots. And then over on this side, there's a toggle switch. So you can switch back and forth between the two sets of lighting on the sides, which is really nice if you want to get kind of a little bit of a shadow, a little bit of a mood. You can go either way. Or, if you have any glare or any issues with glare, you can use this as well to help with that. So good question. Okay, let's take another one.
And they were also wondering how much space should the product be around within the box to have a good photo.
How much extra space on either side, you
Right.
mean, of the image? Um, that's a good question. So it's really going to come down to the orientation of your image, whether it's vertical or horizontal, or square. So it depends on how you crop that image. Um, but let's see, like I said, so you've got 14 1/4 inches from side to side. So measure your object that you're going to be photographing and just make sure you've got a couple inches at least on either side, and you should be good. And some of that's going to depend on how far away or how close you're taking your photo, and again, which orientation your photo is going to be. So just kind of play around and see, but I would say at least a couple inches on either side.
And the last
Okay.
question I have right now is what type of bulbs does it have and the replacements?
Oh, good question. Okay, so these are LED lights, and they are actually rated at 50,000 hours. So we're talking 22 plus years of continuous usage for 6 hours each day. So you're never going to need to replace these lights. Um, Obviously, if you drop them and break them, that's a different story. But these lights will probably outlast whatever you're photographing. So anyway, good question. Okay, so let's move on. We're going to do one more type of shot, and it's going to be a video, and it's going to be a process video. These are so popular right now for creators, whether you're selling or whether you're just a content creator. Showing the process of how you create something is really popular. Let me pull this infinity backdrop out and just roll it up. And we're going to use the side shot again, this accessory for hands-free photography and videos. And I'm going to grab another photo reel background. We're going to use this pretty wood grain. I love this wood grain. This is a really nice background. So we're going to put that actually right here. So I'm going to scoop my Shotbox back as far as it'll go. And we're going to actually work right out here. And I'm going to move my side shot so that it's straight up and down. So I can do a flat lay video right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of washi tape. Washi tape is a nice low tack tape. You could also use like painter's tape or masking tape. And I'm just going to tape my background to the table. The reason why I want to do that is because I don't want it to move around while I'm working on it. When it's inside the box, it's nice and secure in there. But when you're working out here, it could move around a little bit. And what we're going to do is I've got this little mini book. It's a mini photo album that I made of my sweet dog, of our Daisy. And I'm just going to do, a lot of people like to do a process video or a flip through video that just shows, the whole project or how to make it. So I'm going to show you how to kind of do that. And let me set up we're going to use my cell phone again. Actually, this is my daughter's cell phone. She let me borrow it. All right. So we're going to go to video again, and we're going to put this right up here. And let's see. get this down as low as I can go. And then for this video, I am going to zoom in a little bit so I can get that shot just exactly where I want it. Let's get my box back just a tad. All right, and again, hands-free, this is the idea, and it's so nice. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring the project into the shot, just kind of finish up the last little bit, put one sticker on, and then I'm gonna flip through so that my viewers, my audience can see exactly what's in the project. So let me hit start. Whoop, there we go. And just come on in, put the sticker on, sorry for my back. And then just flip through all the different pages. And the nice thing is you can see both what you're getting on your video, and you can see what you're doing with your hands. So it's really easy to work with. All right. So if we can put up 4A, which is another video, and just watch how that ends up looking like. And this would be another cute little reel, 15-second reel that you could put on Instagram. And some people like to speed these up, so they're a little bit faster, so it doesn't take quite so long, So, but that way you can see the whole project. And there's your flip through video. Okay, so let's come back to the front on shot. And I just want to talk for a second about some of the other applications that you can use this particular setup for. So if you are an artist and you like to draw or sketch or paint, this is a perfect way to make a video to show how to do that, to do a process video. If you're into jewelry making, this is another great way to show how to make jewelry with this kind of setup. If you do crochet or knitting, if you do stamping, if you like to do stamping, this is a great way to show that. Card making, cookie decorating, and the list goes on and on. If you work with clay or plaster, whatever you're creating, this is a great way to show a process video. So your hands can be free and you can do whatever you want. I know for me over the years, I wish I could have a picture of me doing this with my camera and my one hand down here trying to get this shot, of me. And I wish I could have two hands free. Well, you can now with the Shotbox and the Sideshot attachment. That makes it so easy. You can even do the same thing if you have a small project. You can do the same thing right inside the box and place your camera right up here on top and still have room to get your hands in there, provided it's a smaller scale project. So there are so many different ways to use this awesome product. It's totally going to change how you market yourself as a small business person, as a content creator, maybe as an archiver. If you're trying to document and archive precious photos and documents, this is a game changer, totally worth investing in for doing that. And like I said, again, if you're a business owner or a content creator, this is a great investment for you. It'll grow your business. It'll up your game, your photography game, your video game. And that as a marketing a person that works in marketing, that makes all the difference in the world. Beautiful imagery and beautiful videos make all the difference in the world. So I will take some more questions now for the next maybe 5-10 minutes, however many you have, and I'm happy to answer them. So.
Okay, Jackie's wanting to know if you can use a tablet.
Yes, you can use a tablet. You can use a tablet. Let me show you. Let me lower the side shot here. Side shot is a great way to do that. You can also lay it on top and take a photo from the top. But the side shot has these arms that come out, so you can lay your tablet right on there. Good question. Next.
We have JT asking about the setup. I know that it was quick and easy, so I'm not for sure if you're able to do the setup again. Show how to set it up.
Absolutely. Let's do that one more time. That's one of my favorite things to show because it is so easy. I'm just going to move my side shot out of the way and my backdrop here. Get that tape off. And again, just to mention one more time, these have a sheen, a coating on them, so that the tape, like as long as it's a low tack tape, that's not going to tear it. These are really nice and sturdy. All right, so let me turn the lighting off. Hopefully you can see that. So I'm going to do the takedown. So you start with these sidebars here, and they just come right out. Actually, I need to lift it up a little bit, and they pop in place down there, come right out, pop in place down there. And then all you have to do is pull this back, ground up and down. And then here, I'm going to unplug it. And then it's easy as this, boom. And then you pull your sidebars up, snap those into place, and you're good to go. And again, like I said, I have like all this fancy lighting equipment, you know, my tripods, I have different tripods. It takes me so long to set up all of that stuff, and this literally just takes seconds. So other questions?
I think that's most of the questions. Actually, I have one more.
Okay.
How do you replicate the box for larger items?
For larger items, you're gonna probably want to go with a lighting kit. You can, you know, there are all kinds of them available for larger items. Again, you might have heard before, maybe not. I will mention to my team at We Are Memory Keepers that question has come up, and you know, we'll see what they think about that. So, any other questions?
Yes, there's a question pertaining, you just mentioned about the drop, about your cardstock, and I was wondering, could you use just regular cardstock? It doesn't have to have the sheen.
No, you could use regular cardstock if you have some, you know, a certain color or, you know, whatever you're trying to match. You could use cardstock. Cardstock, generally, the largest it comes is 12 by 12. You could maybe use poster paper and cut it down if you're looking for a specific color that isn't included in our kits. So it doesn't have to have the sheen. That just helps them to last longer, you know, to make them more sturdy. So good
Okay.
question.
And so Chris is asking about the LED lights.
Mhm.
What is the rating for the LED lights, if you know?
So the rating is 50,000 hours. Is that what you're asking? At 50,000 hours, so that's 22 plus years, 6 hours a day, continuous use, and then they'll run out. So they'll probably outlast you.
Okay.
Is that what you want to know, or?
I do believe, and I just want to let everyone know that this class is being recorded and that you can find it on michaels.com/classes. Or you can also visit the Michaels YouTube channel to see the video. You can replay it and watch it all over again if you would like. And it should be on there available within 24 to 48 hours.
Great, thank you. I actually did just see a question. I think that maybe that was what it was about, was the rating, like the temperature of the lights. It's daylight, just so you know. That was probably what the question was about. So they're meant to replicate daylight. So,
Okay.
and any others? If that's all, then I think
I
we're good.
think that's it. Well,
Okay,
thank
thank you
you.
so much for joining, and we will catch you guys next time. Bye.